Hello everybody, my name is Marlo and today I'm going to be showing you how to build this cliffside house in Minecraft. Before we begin, I would like to give some credit to the wonderful builder who inspired me to make this house, and that is Sev. So I'm going to leave her YouTube channel link down in the description below. Please go check her out because she has made a similar house in this style where you build something on the edge of a cliff, and I took some heavy inspiration from it because I loved it so much. So please go check out her channel, see what type of house she has made. It's very similar to this one, so if you want a slightly tweaked version, go see what she's made. Thank you very much, Sev. Of course, if you're building this in survival, a materials list is going to be very handy to have, so this is what we have here. These blocks are all counted with a mod called Lightmatica, and they're for the exact build that we're making today. This is actually recorded once the video is done, for those of you wondering. So over here on the left hand side we have all of the items, and then over here we have the amounts needed to the exact number. However, it may be a good idea to grab a little bit extra just in case you happen to need it for whatever reason. So here is page 1, here is page 2, here is page 3, here is page 4, and then here is the last page, page 5, starting from the bed over here. So go ahead, gather all of those items up, and now we can start with the building. As for picking a location to build this in, all you really need is a flat face on a cliff, just like this one here, although I have slightly tweaked it to make it a little bit flatter and actually wide enough to fit in this house. So really what you're looking for is something that's quite tall like this one is, has enough surface area to build upon, and just make sure there's some depth to it because we are of course going to be digging into the mountain. The first thing we're going to do is build the beams connecting to the platform that you can stand on. So if you're building this in survival, some scaffolding or other blocks of that nature might be a good idea. But the first thing we're going to do is just place a horizontal strip spruce log in the middle of our area here, nearer the bottom. Just around about there should be good. And then we're going to leave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 blocks either side of it. So just make sure you can count 5 in the middle and then do the same over here. You can also bring it out by an extra one on all of these, and you also need 2 spruce trapdoors underneath them all. As for the rest of it, we're going to have an upside down spruce stair in front of it, and then one on top just behind like that. We can also go ahead and place a trapdoor just behind this stair. We can then add 2 more strip spruce logs coming out, and we're going to have 1 more trapdoor underneath this log in front of the stair, and then the last thing to do is to have 1 more stair here, and then 1 and 2 strip logs on top. So it should look like this. Once you've got that done for all 3 of the beams, we can go ahead and grab some oak slabs. And from this log right here, so not the top log, from this first one just above the stair, on the back of it here, we're going to add a line of 4, it should be, going all the way until the mountain, and then we can do the same over on this side. So just make sure you got a half block gap in between the slab and the log, and then we can add 5 of these in between all of those logs, just like that, to create this rectangle shape, and then you just want to go ahead and fill this whole middle section in. Before we go any further, we do just need to drop back under the platform here and make a couple of tweaks. So this is awfully flat, and although we have these beams as supports, I feel like we could do a little bit extra to make it seem slightly more sturdy. So what we're going to do, on the back of this middle section here, we're going to break these 3 slabs and we're going to replace them with some upside down oak stairs. That way it just kind of seems to be planted on the wall a bit, helps with the look of support. Then we can go ahead and break these 3 blocks in the middle just next to this log, and we're going to have 1 regular stair, and then 2 either side we're going to place into this stair so we can curve them round a little bit. So you just want a 1/4 of a block on show here, not a half a block. So just like that, and then we can do a similar thing for these other 2 beams, except we only have room for 2 stairs here, so we just want to do something a little bit like that. So a regular stair and then 1 curved round to the side, and there we go. That just looks a bit more sturdy than the flat surface we had before. With that done, now we can come back up to the top of the platform, and what we're going to do to begin with here is grab some spruce trapdoors, and we just want to line all of the edge of the oak slabs with some of these trapdoors, and then we want to go around and flick them down so we get this border going all the way around, which looks something like this. You want to skip the logs here though, and instead we're going to have some spruce signs. So we need 2 on the corner blocks and then just a single sign in the middle. So we're looking like this at the moment. We can then add 1, 2 and 3 spruce slabs on top of those logs. And then we're going to add 2 oak buttons here on the corner logs, just on this top part of it. And then a single one here in the middle. So similar to what we did with the signs, just with oak buttons. Now we can go ahead and grab some brick walls, and what we want to do is have 2 here either side of this gap, and we're going to have 3 spruce fence gates in the middle, just like this. And then on this 4 wide section here, we're going to have 2 gates in the middle and 2 brick walls on either side. Same again over here. And with that all done, the last thing we need to do for this step is grab some string, and all we're going to do is place it on top of the brick walls so you can see they get this little bit of a block change, so it looks a little bit different. I'm not sure why this looks better, but in my opinion it does, instead of having a super flat block like this. So just putting the string on top, you can see alters it like so. So if you don't have string on hand or you don't want to add that in, perfectly fine, you don't need to, but I just think it looks a little bit better that way. So that's the platform all done. Now we can get started on the house itself, or at least the facade of this house inside of the mountain. So the first thing we're going to do is grab 2 barrels, and we're going to place them here and here. So we should have 5 blocks in the middle of them, and then 2 on either side, just like that. We then also want to shift as we do this, so crouching, place 1, 2, 3 dark oak logs on top of it. If you don't crouch, you're just going to open up the barrel, so make sure you are crouching. And then we're going to have a horizontal beam going across the middle, just like this. Lastly, we just want to stick 1 and 2 signs on the outside blocks of those barrels, just like this, of course crouching once again. And there we go, that's the starting point for our house. But before we go any further, we're just going to add in some ladders so we can actually access this base pretty easily. So either side, left or right, doesn't really matter. We're just going to place in some ladders, so you just want to bring these all the way up until the top here, so you can easily climb up and down if you want to access through the mountain peak. But if you want to access through the bottom, all you need to do is break this slab, and then you pretty much just want to have a line of ladders going all the way down. So you need to just do this to as far down as you need to. This honestly may be fine, we're actually quite close to the floor here, but if you're a bit higher up, you get the idea. You just go down further with the ladders. Continuing on with the house here, the next thing we're going to do is add an upside down stair on the top log, just like that in either corner. And then we can have a regular stair coming out the back and one just beside it here connecting to the stone, just like that. Then we can add in a slab next to this stair as well as on the other side. Then we're going to have a trapdoor, then another one here and another slab in the center. On top of the slabs, we want to have 3 trapdoors, and on top of the trapdoors, we want to have 2 slabs. So it should look like this at the moment. We can then grab some 4 dark oak planks, and we're going to have one there above both of the upside down stairs, then a regular stair on top of those, and then we're going to have an upside down stair on the back of those. And pretty much we just want to repeat that pattern, so 2 more full blocks, 2 more stairs and 2 more upside down stairs, giving us this currently. And the last thing to do is just add another 2 stairs like this with an upside down one in the center. And then very lastly for now, 1, 2 and 3 slabs. We do also need to add in 2 more dark oak trapdoors here, as well as here on the other side. In front of it, we can just have 2 lanterns like that. And from this top slab, we want to have a chain with a lantern hanging down from below. Now we can go ahead and fill in the rest of the roof, or what we have of a roof anyway. So to do that, we're just going to place in a spruce plank where we have a dark oak plank, and then a spruce stair next to the dark oak stair, so on and so forth on both of the sides. So we have 3 stairs in total and just 2 spruce planks. So we should end up with something like this. Now we can start work on this top section here. So we want to have 2 full planks on the outer blocks, just like that. And then we want to add in 4 dark oak logs next to those. And then we're going to have an upside down spruce stair on this top block, a regular spruce stair on the bottom. And then just for now, we can go ahead and punch out those 2 blocks. And in front of it, we're going to have 2 glass panes as our windows. And then just to the left here, 2 dark oak or spruce trapdoors, sorry, as some shutters to go in front of it. Now we can move down to this bottom section here. And the first thing we're going to do is just break all of the blocks in the wall like so. Then we can go ahead and grab 2 polished andesite blocks and place them in the corner with 2 upside down stairs just like that either side of it. We can then go ahead and break these 3 blocks, replacing them with some oak planks, and then we just want to place in our spruce door on the back of the block just like that. Then we can grab some stone brick stairs and we're going to have 2 like this on either side. So we get something that looks like this, kind of like a U shape. And on top of it, we're going to have 2 full blocks and then a final upside down stair in the center. So these will eventually look like some windows without having to use glass. The last thing to do for this part is to add in 2 upside down stairs in the corners, 3 spruce trapdoors going across the top, and then 2 like this on either side. So that is all of the exterior work we need to do with this build. We're now ready to head inside and start work there, which is currently rather blocked off. So of course we need to do some digging, so if you have a beacon it may be a good idea to set that up, but if not, it's not too big of an area we need to clear, so it shouldn't take too long. But the first block from behind this door, we need to go back by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9 blocks. Just like that. I guess that's 18 in total, but we're going 9 blocks back. Then outwards, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, which we cannot reach, but you want to go out 6 blocks in both directions, just like this. And then we're also going to raise it up by another 6 blocks, so it's 8 in total. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you'll actually have to jump or pillar up to get the next one. But pretty much we just want to clear out that cube. So 6 out either side, 9 blocks back, and then 8 blocks tall. Once you have your hole dug, it may be a good idea to place down some torches. I'm currently using night vision just so you guys can see nice and easily, but obviously you don't want anything spawning in here, so temporarily torches may be a good idea. Anyway, the next thing to do is to grab some dark oak logs, and we're going to place 2 down either side of these andesite blocks, just like this, 5 blocks in the middle. Then we're going to leave 2 blocks here on either side, and then another 2 blocks just like this, and all of these can be brought up by 3 more logs for a total of 4, just like so. Then we're going to add in some horizontal ones and pretty much just connect them all, going all the way around, which should end you up with something that looks like this. All of the storage for this base is going to be going in these 4 sections, the slots that are 2 blocks apart. So I just show you how to build one side and you can copy it around afterwards. So what we need to do is to begin with, grab some item frames, and we just want to place 6 of those on both of the 2 sections here on the inside of the logs. That's just going to allow you to label each individual chest. But before we place the chest down, we're actually going to go ahead and break these 12 blocks in the floor and replace them with some stripped oak logs, just like that. And then we're going to go ahead and grab our chests. So we're going to have 6 of these in total on for each section, so 12 for one side. And we're just going to stack 3 of them up like so, making sure you're crouching and clicking on the side of the chest. Otherwise, you're going to end up with 2 single ones, which you don't want. So just make sure you place them in correctly. And instead of having them face the same way like this, what I actually like to do is have them face into each other. That way the handle here in the middle just lines up nicely and I think looks a tiny weeny bit better. So again, not needed, but it's just a slight improvement you can make. So go ahead and get your 6 double chests in here, as well as the ones on the other side. Of course, again, making sure you're actually turning them into double chests and not single chests. So there you go, you have all of your chests added in with your items at the front here, so you're able to label them. Now we can go back round to the back here, and we're just going to add in 3 barrels like this behind all of the logs. This just allows you to have a little bit of extra storage, maybe for some bulk items. If need be, you can actually access them here, as you can see, behind the gap in the chests. But we can still see the cave behind us, which we don't really want, so we need to cover that up. In front of the barrels here, we're going to have some more spruce planks, just like this. And then to cover the back of the chest up, we're going to have even more spruce planks. And you are going to have some dark spots here, so you may want to actually plop some torches in there. Would definitely be a good idea. But with all of the sides covered up, as well as the floor, we just need to add some spruce slabs above it, not full blocks. Otherwise, you won't be able to open the top chests up here. And of course, as you may have guessed, you want to go ahead and do that on the opposite side too, if you haven't already. With all of the storage added in, we can now start work on this back section, and the first thing we're going to do is break these blocks in the floor in line with the logs and replace them with some stripped oak logs, similar to what we did over here. Then we can add in a stone cutter back by a block in the center with some utility blocks around it, so a crafting table, a loom, a smithing table and a cartography table. These are always very useful to have on hand in a survival base, so go ahead and place them down. Now we do have some space behind it here, so we're just going to fill in all of these with furnaces, so that's 5 across, 5 more, and then 1 at the bottom here, because we can still access the block behind the stone cutter, so we may as well make use of it if we got the space. Then we do need to fill in these gaps so we can't see through it, so what we're going to do is add in 2 upside down spruce stairs with 3 spruce trapdoors going across the top, and then 2 more flat closed just like that on either side, and there we go. We can no longer see behind it, but we can still see and access all of the furnaces with ease. Just in front of the doorway and the andesite blocks here, we're just going to break these 5 blocks on the floor and replace them with some more stripped oak logs. And we're going to continue the floor in a second, but before we do, let's sort out part of the ceiling here. So we need to go ahead and place down 1, 2 and 3 upside down stone brick stairs, and then we're going to replace these blocks in the wall with some full blocks, and then we're going to stick some slabs in front of it just like that. We can also go ahead and place down 5 more slabs in front of it. Then we're going to have 4 slabs here on either side, and then 3 more at the back. So you should be left with a 3x3 hole in the middle, which we're actually going to use a slime block launcher to propel us up to the second level, which we'll get started with very soon. But before we do that, let's just add in a little bit of permanent lighting, so you can go ahead and get rid of your torches if you haven't already. And you need to place a lantern here in the middle of this log, and we're going to have 2 chains here either side in the corner with 2 lanterns underneath both of those. So for the floor, we want to go ahead and break down the 5x5 square that was stone blocks down by 3 more blocks, giving you a nice hole in the floor like this, which we can start building the slime launcher in. So we're going to have a block of stone brick in the middle, and I'm going to turn that into a plus shape just like this, and stick a sticky piston in the center with 4 redstone dust all around it, like that. A slime block can be placed on top of the sticky piston, and then we just want to go ahead and place down 4 blast furnaces around the slime block. That way it's not going to bring up the blocks with it when we activate the slime launcher, which we can do by placing down some buttons, and as you can see, whichever one of these you press, it will shoot you up to the next level when we eventually get that in place. So we're using blast furnaces because it doesn't drag it with the slime block, and you can also use them to smelt stuff if need be, which is why on the corners here we're going to go ahead and add in some smokers too if you want to use them as well. As for the ring going all the way around the outside, we're going to place down some barrels there, but we're actually going to place them upside down. That way we can get the underside texture on show, which I personally think looks really nice. So just go all the way around, place them down, and you're now stuck down here, so you actually want to dig your way out. Of course, if you don't want mob spawning, either place some torches or fill in all of those blocks, it's up to you. But as you can see, when you're back up here at the surface, we have the underside texture on show, which looks beautiful in my opinion. And once again, it's also quite helpful similarly to these furnaces here, because you can access and still use them. Plus, it looks really good. With the slime block launcher all working, all you need to do to get up to the second floor is stand in the center and press any of the buttons and you're shot right up here. And the first thing I'm going to do is break some of the blocks around the window here, so just do all of those, and then for good measure, let's get 3 of these on either side. That should be fine. And we're also going to go ahead and place down 3 full stone brick blocks, just like that. Then we're going to grab some spruce stairs, and we're going to have 3 here at the back just in front of the window, and then we're going to go across by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8, and then we're going to do the same on this side too, going across to the same spot, so we're in line with the other stairs, and then we're just going to have 1 more curved round at the back here. The next thing we have to do is break all of these blocks in the ceiling, and then making sure you actually place them on the ceiling block here. So up here, not on the stair, we're going to place down some trapdoors and just fill all of this in like so. Next up, we want to grab an extra stone brick block and just replace this middle stone with one of those. The end two here can be left as they are because on top of them we're going to be placing some stripped spruce logs. And we want to place 2 of these down like I have done here, going across by 6 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on both of the sides. And we only need to go 2 blocks high. The one above it can literally be any type of block you want because in front of it there's going to be some spruce trapdoors. So you're not going to be able to see it as it's covered up by those. Of course, if you wanted to, for continuity or just because you know there's stone behind there, you're more than welcome to put some spruce wood if you want to. But like I said, when the trapdoors are folded down, you can't see a thing. So over here next to the window is going to be a very small bedroom. We'll start building that shortly, but the idea is you just hop back and forth between the bedroom and what is going to be the enchanting room over here. So on this bottom level, we're just going to have 3 bookshelves either side and then 3 more at the back. On the middle section here at the back, we want to have a barrel in the middle, then a grindstone on the left or right, and an anvil on the other side. Obviously, we can't see behind the barrel, so we don't need to cover the back up, but we can see behind the grindstone and the anvil, so we just want to place an oak plank back there, because when we fill in the rest of the bookshelves, it's going to look a little bit better that way. And you can see what I'm doing here, pretty much just filling the rest in, so you're not going to be able to see behind it. And as you can see, you can't because now we have the oak planks in. The last thing to do is, of course, place your enchanting table on this center wood block. Over here on the other side, we of course need our bed in the bedroom, so we're just going to stick it facing out towards the window. Then when you go to sleep, you got a nice view. You could place it this way, it's kind of up to you which you prefer. But to the left, we're going to have a crafting table. To the right, we're going to have an ender chest. And we're just going to stick a nice flower pot on top of the crafting table. And then the final thing to do is to grab a couple more lanterns and we're going to put them on the underside of this trapdoor, as well as the last one over there. Of course, crouching whilst you do that. Now I know this is not the most practical way to get to a bedroom and an enchanting table, but realistically, it's not that often you're going to need to be jumping across to these 2 things, so I would recommend if you don't make it, just hop back up. It's not going to be that common of occurrence that you'll actually have to go from side to side. And besides, you can actually reach the enchanting table from over here in the bedroom. So there we go everybody, that is going to do it for today's video. I really hope you did enjoy, and thank you once again to Seb for the inspiration for this build. I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to check out our channel everybody. But thank you so much for watching, really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.